Hi, I'm Tinny from Mini Bowl Design, and today I'm going to talk about the communications I'm having back and forth with the thru hiker. This one thru hiker I'm talking to lately. Now, if there's any other thru hikers that would like to chime in and email me and talk to me and tell me, answer my questions basically, and everybody else's, I really would be great. Right now I'm working with this guy, and I think you're going to get a kick out of this. Okay. First off, right up front, he has no sense of taste and no sense of smell. So that totally changes the formula. But because of that, he used that to his advantage. And I think you'll see here in this. I just like to say, for example, if I ate 3 candy bars, one right after another, I wouldn't want to see a candy bar for another 2 or 3 days. But if I had no sense of taste or smell, I don't know, I'm thinking it wouldn't make any difference. So anyway, let's start out. Okay, breakfast. He eats 2 Hostess fruit pies. The kinds you typically find in the supermarket. You know, they're about yay big, come with a paper wrapper on them. They've got a crust around them. Then they're just a gelatinous fruit filling. They're around 400 calories a piece, 450. He ate 2 of them for breakfast. That gave him like 900 calories. Okay, now he did this every day, so, that read off quick. No, I couldn't do that. After a couple of days, that made me queasy to look at him. But, okay, for lunch, he'd eat 6 of the Little Debbie oatmeal snack thingies. I guess you call them a snack cake. They're 2 oatmeal cookies with white cream filling in between them. He'd eat 6 of those for lunchtime. Whew! And both of these items he's carrying, like he buy them by the box. Like a dozen in a box. He's carrying both of these. Okay, so that's what he'd have for lunch. A little queasy here, just reading this stuff, but once again, it worked for him, and I'll address more of this. Okay, supper. Okay, I would buy, hopefully, depending on availability, 16 to 28, or preferably 40-ounce jars of peanut butter. A 40-ounce jar of peanut butter would last me 3 days, if I remember correctly. I would spoon out the peanut butter and lick it off the spoon, nothing else. No bananas, no bread, nothing. Just lick it right off the spoon. By the time I figured 180 calories per serving in 16-ounce jars, you might get 14 servings. So I'm guessing he's saying for supper, he just ate, 5 to 6 ounces of peanut butter. Right? Just spooned it right down. Damn. Now, my theory on weight goes right out the window with this, because everything he's eating is extremely concentrated calories. So the weight thing goes right out the window when you do that. I have 2 thoughts on it. It worked for him. He had no problem. He didn't lose any weight. He maintained his weight when everybody else who did the Appalachian Trail basically lost 20 pounds from eating ramen noodles and rice and that type of stuff. I mean, he basically lived on rocket fuel. My thought on this is, if you eat one of those snack pies, with basically most of the calories are from sugar and fat, probably a lot of it's from, probably at least half from sugar, I would get a wicked sugar spike in my blood and have all kinds of energy, but I wouldn't go very far at all. Maybe a couple hours before, maybe not that much before I would crash. But by the time he got ready to crash, he pounded down 6 of those Little Debbie oatmeal snack things, and that would spike his blood sugar again, and he'd keep right on going. But I think between that and supper, I personally, if I ate them all at once like that, and although I've never eaten that volume before, maybe I wouldn't, because there is quite a bit of oatmeal in those, and sugar and flour and things. It might last a lot longer than I think it would, and you might make it all the way to supper. I'm not sure I could eat 5 ounces of peanut butter and then go to bed. but I've never tried it. He was averaging, I think, around 13 miles a day, 13, 15 miles a day. His pack weighed around 30 to 35 pounds. I'm trying to think of anything else I gleaned off of this, and there's a lot of information here. But he didn't carry a stove, and back then when he was doing this, the lightest stove would have been a Whisper Light, by today's standards is a lead sled. He slept he carried a tent and sleeping bag and a minimal amount of clothes, mostly Gore-Tex shells and stuff. And he slowly built up the mileage. First week he did 8 miles, second week he did 9, third week 10, fourth week 11, fifth week 12, you know, and so on. 6 weeks through Katahdin, 13 miles a day average. So that gives you some idea of hammocks weren't that popular back then, but he says now that's all he sleeps in. He has one in his bedroom. So this guy is a phenomenal specimen of physical stamina, because before he wrote this, he'd just ridden 130 miles on a road bike. So this guy is basically a giant hummingbird. So anyway, that gives you some idea of this gentleman's way of doing it. Could I do that? Absolutely not. I just reading what he's. The first thing I'm thinking is, after living on snack pies and oatmeal Little Debbie snack cakes, I would think in the evening sitting down and cooking up a good hot meal of beef stroganoff would be, but I have taste buds, and I think for most of us that would be a good hot stroganoff. You know, eat that stuff during the day to keep your energy up, but once or twice a day have a good hot, sensible home cooked meal or trail cooked meal. But you know, everybody's different. I would have to do that. I'd have to have a couple of really good hot home-cooked meals a day because my palate would not be able to tolerate this stuff. But that's it. I'm Tinny from Mini Bull Design. If there's any more thru hikers out there that want to email me, it's tinny@minibullddesign.com, and I really got all kinds of questions for you. I think the next question I'm going to ask is, what do you use for a water filter? I'm kind of curious. I'm suspecting he didn't use a water filter. He probably just built up a tolerance to some of these germs and just drank out of any clear source. I'm Tinny from Mini Bull Design. Get out and hike. Take a friend. Enjoy the great outdoors. And more important than anything, try to have a really great day. Bye-bye.